Well, it's been a while since my last video, and that's because we've been spending the last few weeks or month cementing in the final details of our trip. We've now got to the stage where we've got the tickets in our hot little hands. We've got other travel arrangements finalised, accommodation set, and also the financial side of it's been set as well. Well, we decided we'll be travelling by Philippine airline, and we have our own reasons for that. They're not everybody's cup of tea, and what airline you travel on will actually depend on your circumstances and also your destination. The flights from Sydney to Manila are direct by Philippine Airlines. They use the older A300, or A330, is it? A340 Airbus. They're about 2 or 3 years old. They're reliable. They don't have the modern in-flight entertainment as well as some of the airlines have, but we're not movie buffs, so we're not worried about that. Also, we're the type of persons who like to get to our destination as directly as possible. We'd rather get on a plane at point A, get off at point B and be there, rather than muck around with all the transits and plane changes, etc., which you'd get on other airlines, which possibly would be cheaper. The other point is too that we'll be travelling to the province out to Balikbayan in the Visayas, and Philippine Airlines uses a service known as PAL Express, or Philippine Airlines Express, towards domestic flights. They actually go to Balikbayan. They don't go to all the regions, but the beauty of it is they all leave and depart, or say depart, and arrive at the same terminal, which is Terminal 2, which is Philippine Airlines' designated terminal. So we can land in Manila at Terminal 2, and we can go to the province from Terminal 2. You don't have that rush between terminals which you'll get from other flights. There's actually 4 terminals in Manila, and it can be a bit of a problem getting between them. You have to add at least an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours in some cases, depending on the time of day, to your transfer between those terminals. On the way in, our flight will land in Manila at about 5 o'clock in the evening. So it's impossible for us to travel to the province that day, because our other flight leaves at about 3 o'clock. So we'll have to spend the night in Manila. Now, if you're just travelling from your home port to Manila, you can choose any airline you want at any price. You can get some really good deals. But the reason why we chose Philippine Airlines is because even though we have a layover in Manila on the way in, on the way home we don't have to worry about that expense or problem. We catch a plane from Balikbayan at about 2 o'clock. It gets into Manila about 4, and we can just walk to the other end of the terminal to go through customs, etc., and catch a plane back to Sydney, which departs at 10:30. The thing to take into consideration, but is a lot of the airlines, they close their check-in times about 90 minutes before the flight departs, and that's the latest. And you can actually be in a queue, and 1 hour before the plane flights, they'll just close the check-in down. So when you are travelling across to these provinces and you're required to change flights to a domestic flight, remember that. Allow at least 2 or 3 hours to get there and check in. Otherwise you could find yourself having to rebook to another flight, maybe another day. if you want to stay some days in Manila, I suggest you look for some really decent accommodation and get on the internet and search around to the various choices. They range from luxury to basic. If you're travelling on to a province which is not serviced by Philippine Airlines and requires you a transfer across to Terminal 3, a good place for accommodation to look for is the resorts area, which is just, you know, what, a bowl of rice throw across the road from Terminal 3. It still takes you about an hour to get there by taxi's travel, but there's some very good hotels there that suit any budget, from luxury down to just basic. A good one for an overnight stay, or two nights, is the Remington. It actually has a shuttle link, which is free between it and Terminal 3 and Terminal 1. It's a good choice. We've decided to stay at a place called the Nichols. Now, it's only about 20 minutes from Terminal 2, and it's, say, about 3 stars. You get a mixed reviews about it, but as far as we're concerned, we've looked into all the reviews and most of them say it's good for an overnight layover. Now, we might arrive at say 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll get there by about 6:30, and then we've got to meet. So we're going to have some friends turn up and have a chat to them. We'll probably go to bed early, up back to the airport to catch our flight at 10 o'clock the next day. So it's very convenient. We also have a transfer service using private taxi from the airport, and they also have a shuttle bus back to the airport. Now, the private taxi from the airport to the Nichols is a little bit steep, but it's a private company and it's actually linked to the hotel, and so you no, excuse me, so you're going to find that you've got recourse if something goes wrong. Also, you can book in advance like we've done, and they actually monitor when the flights are coming in, so they can change the taxi's arrival to suit your flight if it gets delayed. If you're not there, they'll wait for you, unlike some other taxi services who'll just leave you in the lurch. They'll also have a sign held up for you so you can find them. Coming back, because we booked in advance, we can take advantage of their shuttle bus. It's about 300 pesos back to the airport. It runs at fixed times, and some of the times don't actually necessarily suit you. But we'll have to check up with the hotel when we get there. Well, that's basically what we've got planned and what's happening. Basically, we'll be leaving Sydney at about 11:30 on a Sunday. We get in at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon on the Sunday evening. We spend a night in Manila. And Monday morning at 10 o'clock, we're on a plane to Tagbilaran. And it's an hour from Tagbilaran to Tagbilaran, I should say. And once we get to Tagbilaran Airport, well, we've got no worries there because some of Ding's relatives own cab services. So we're right for transport there. So I think lunchtime is going to be spent back in the Ding's hometown, surrounded by kids and family. And I'll just sit in the background and close my eyes and have a small nap. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'll update you on some of the other things that we're doing in later videos. There won't be so many of them, but when we come back we will post up the whole experience so that you can benefit for if you want to travel. Okay, that's it from me. Oh, and that's a perennial phlox, or a meadow phlox you're seeing there in the screen. They've got a beautiful, strong, overpowering perfume.